All right, Tim. I gotta let you know I'm just receiving a notification here. Yeah, it's a tweet. Wow, from the network, letting me know that we're gonna have to let you go. We're wishing you wonderful luck in your future endeavors, and I hope that you're able to find a co-hosting spot someplace else within the wonderful world of podcasting in some way.
Wait. Why are you letting me go?
Budgetary reasons. That's the reason. We're going way over budget. We're gonna have to really cut things back here.
You don't have a budget.
I don't know what?
You don't even pay me. I do this for free.
It's been wonderful working with you, Tim. I'm really sorry that this is going to be your final show with the company. Once again, not my decision in any way. Clearly, the networks.
But I do this cutting me is not going to help you financially. You're still going to have that stressful financial.
All right. Well, we're going to have to go ahead and move on to the first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time for some As the Buckle Turns news and a review in the same show. Right. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim. And by the way, Adam, just gotta get this out there before I forget.
What?
Hashtag fuck the owl, fuck Nua.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, I'm signing it right off on the Nua shit.
I think I understand why the network is upset with you.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Second longest running show on the channel. I mean,
yeah, I was talking to one of the higher ups in the network.
Yeah.
Even he didn't know how Nua was still on the channel and how poorly it does.
Look. It's a 10 anyway. We are going over AEW Double or Nothing, and we're going over
No. So I wanted to explain what the show was supposed to be about.
Oh, okay.
Because no news dropped until earlier today.
Yeah.
So it was going to be AEW. Double Nothing.
We're recording on Wednesday this week.
We didn't get to do our predictions because we couldn't have a show last week.
I'm sorry about that.
I wasn't going to complain about it, but
I'm apologizing to the audience. I had a death in my family. My uncle passed away last week. And,
I wasn't going to ask for you for explanation, but
this is for the audience.
They don't need to know that shit.
Yes, they do.
So our one fan needs to know this?
Yes,
absolutely.
As to why we didn't do a show last week. It wasn't because I was lazy. It was because there was a tragedy in the family.
Because it was your no. So we couldn't do our prediction episode.
Right.
But we both still watched the pay-per-view. So
hell yeah, we did.
So one of us watched the entire pay-per-view and one skipped out on 3 matches.
So I fast-forwarded through one match.
You decide who's the one who actually did that. Oh, by the way, that was me who skipped on matches. We'll get to them when we get to that.
No, I skipped ahead on 3.
So this was going to be an AEW review, and then news broke of WWE releasing more talent today. So it's going to be a duel.
How do you fuck that up though?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're going to start off with Double or Nothing this week.
We're starting off with WWE Releases this week.
No, we're not. We're going to get to that later because we're going to be complaining about that a lot and maybe fantasy booking a bit.
We're going. So Adam's covering AEW. I'm covering the releases all at the same time.
And go.
We can't.
Sorry, everybody. It's just crosstalk for the rest of the episode.
It's like you're talking. No, you do your part. Then I say something completely not related to it.
Every time I finish a
thought, I go on to. I talk about.
No.
And then we switch. I talk about AEW.
So first of all, regarding Double or Nothing, fans.
It was a waste of time.
No. Fans were in. It was a packed house.
I gotta say this thing about fans. Wrestling is better without fans.
What?
Completely. They are not needed.
Stupid.
So when on Sunday I was watching the buy-in match between Rio and Selena Deebs, and I took a photo of it to send to you, and I said, having fans back in the is weird because having that many fans back is just like
from-
you've changed the camera direction again
Yeah.
to actually have them on set like you should. Yeah, obviously you should.
I
But
had a moment when you said that I was like, huh? Because I forgot that Double or Nothing was
Yeah.
going to be full capacity.
yeah.
Even though we had talked about it. But so
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch the buy-in. I'm sorry.
It's a definitely a good buy-in. This is how you use the buy-in. And apparently, by the way, so it was basically Rio had disappeared from TV for a little bit because she did go back to Japan for a little tour.
Yep.
But apparently, she is making the U.S. her home base of operations and going forward.
Sweet.
So I'm probably assuming that they didn't have anything for the few weeks, and a tour came up possibly into
Yeah.
Japan. So she says, "I'll take that." So
Or
that's
it could
good.
have been, hey, a tour in Japan is coming up. I kind of want to do a farewell.
Who knows? Whatever. Who doesn't really know? But
I want to do one more before I come here.
But ultimately, I'm glad to see that Rio will be coming back. I did kind of hope that Rio would win the NWA Women's Championship because I think that would have been cool. But at the same time, you knew she wasn't because this was Serena Deep's first match back after a knee injury.
Okay.
She had to have microscopic surgery on something. She was out for like 2 months.
Ooh.
She was healing.
Rotoscoping, probably.
Yeah, she was healing it up in this matchup.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. But the one thing I can only think about is now seeing Rio back in action, like how great Rio is.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It's just the funny. Okay, first off, it's funny how commentary was talking about how Serena Deebs should be the veteran of this matchup with Rio, who's only like 24, who has about the exact same amount of experience wrestling.
I know.
Because of Japan.
Because Japan, you start early.
You can start at 10.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Start training. You usually start. They usually will start letting you
In-ring
wrestle.
is 15.
Actually, no. Azumi or AZM. At Stardom, she was wrestling at 13, 14 in the ring.
Okay.
With them, I think they let you actually get in the ring and start wrestling as a teenager.
That's ridiculous.
But anyway, so it's just kind of weird on that. But a great matchup, great little story there. But I just kept thinking about Rio. I'm like, Rio, my storyline for fantasy booking is so much better for you. To the point where I'm going to spoil it because it might be changing, and I don't know if the storylines I have is going to be published.
Honestly, have no idea when the show's coming back.
But the thing is I really want Kenny to offer you a spot in Bullet Club, or Super Elite, or whatever his group is being called.
Super Elite. Yeah.
I really want him to offer you a spot, and I want you to take it because I think that would be awesome. Because this would be fun to have, a woman in part of the boys club. But it would just be something different for you. And it'd be a way to keep you fresh in storylines.
Not bad.
So I would really love to see that happen. I don't think it will, but that would be really, really cool. But yeah, it was a great thing there. But yeah, fans back, a little weird. But by the end of the show, you're like, thank God fans are back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I started off with the show proper. Adam Page versus Brian Cage.
You did not start off with show proper. The buy-in is show proper because that's why it's called the buy-in.
It's called the buy-in. Yeah, my name is Tim.
Since I'm on my last show and I'm being released, I can give you the double bird.
You're giving me the Stone Cold salute.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
And then I'm going to actually give you an actual salute.
Yeah. Brian Cage coming out. I've seen. I gotta be honest. That Terminator get up thing. Kenny did it better.
Well, of course. He also probably had a higher budgetary standard option. But I mean, for what Brian Cage did, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a Terminator. He was the Machine. So
yeah. Sorry.
So he wasn't trying to be the Terminator.
But Adam Page coming out, like there was a immediate pop.
Oh yeah.
To the point that did you catch him when he came out and he sees the pop and he sees everyone? He actually takes a step back, holy crap!
He's like, oh, this isn't weird having this many people here.
There's a lot of people here,
Yeah.
and they're all literally cheering me. Like there's a moment where he's like, I didn't think I was this much over right now.
The best part was the toasting of the woman after he won. It's just like,
Boom.
okay, it's like, yeah.
All right.
But yeah. So this was probably the best match to start off, but I honestly don't know. I think
it was as good of a match as they could get. I love the fact that Brian Cage didn't fully have control of Paige, but he was trying so hard to, like, almost like his story was to just put Paige away with a power move as
fast as he could.
And Adam Page is just like, dude, I can take a little bit more damage than that. Let's go.
Well, the storyline
I'm cowboy shit.
The storyline was going into it was Page questioned his ability because of you having Team Taz, and he's like, look at you, you don't need them, so why don't you prove it? You leave your boys in the back. And Brian Cage said fine. Taz wasn't happy about that. The boys in the back weren't happy about it.
But Taz was on commentary and being relatively good about it.
Yep, he's like, he was mad about it.
Oh yeah.
But
he was letting his feelings be known.
But he said that Brian Cage is going to do what he wants. He can do what he wants. And then the part of Team Taz decided not to listen.
Yeah.
And
like Taz had told them to stay backstage.
Yeah. So, and I knew this was how they were going to do it. Assuming that they went with Adam Page winning, which as soon as he came out, I'm like, oh, he's winning just because first official match on the pay-per-view with fans back. You want the babyface
Oh, you certainly want that baby. The crowd pleasing opening match right there.
So that was there. Personally, I would have gone with Page losing. Just if it wasn't for fans back, I would have gone with Page losing, but for a reason.
Yeah, no, they still did a very good job of giving Brian Cage an out as to why he lost.
Here's the thing. We're getting a little too many outs in AEW right now. With people like to protect people. And I understand that's part of wrestling, but it's just like for a company that was based off a bunch of New Japan wrestlers, well, that wasn't really a thing as much. I'm saying. Like, it's getting predictable when you know who's gonna go over. They're gonna give them usually an out to try to protect them.
Yeah,
it's a pay-per-view. It's not gonna hurt them if you let them lose clean because you're protecting them. They're so dominant normally.
Yeah, I mean that later on you get one of those wins.
Yeah, so that's my thing. You didn't need to do this, but obviously the storyline that it did progress the storyline of Brian Cage breaking away from Team Taz.
Right.
So I understand that. But it's just a little too predictable. But in the end, I can
like the fact that he went to go shove Starks, and Ricky Starks like, no, my neck, bro. And he just turns to clearly that very young boy, and shoves him.
That's Taz's son, Hook,
who just turned 18, didn't he?
Well, I don't know how old he is.
I'm not gonna look it up.
I don't know how old he is, but
yeah, no, I think he just started training at Nightmare Factory.
Well, no, he'd been training with Nightmare Factory for a little while. And that's when that Cody's whole promo is, oh, really? Then why is your son training with me and not with you? Which led to Taz choking out Cody, which then led to Hook training with, apparently, according to AEW, now training with his father and part of Team Taz.
I like how he's labeled on Wikipedia on Google as an American radio personality.
I'll tell you this: Hulk has a good look. So if he gets better in the ring, if he can get as good as his dad in the ring, he's gonna be he's gonna have a good little he could have a good run.
Just gonna.
He already can do suplexes like better than most people starting out. But yeah, it was a good little matchup. It was a win for Paige, which was kind of cool. But then you got into Honestly, if I had to pick a match,
Hook isn't his real name.
Well, yeah, that's his ring name. I wasn't
know.
expecting it to be his real name.
Hey, Tyler.
But the match that was probably the match that you probably should have started out with, but because of the finish, you weren't going to. The Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Oh yeah, that one you couldn't start with that one. You would love to kick the show off with this match.
If the belts were changing hands, yes, you could have started out with that. But
no.
Yeah, that's the reason why they didn't start out the match.
I enjoyed the fact that the audience clearly enjoyed booing the Young Bucks, and they love it right now.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the Young Bucks have really just been like, we're heels, and this is how we are as heels, and you guys hated us for all the things that we were, doing bad, that we were just joking about for the longest time. Now, you know what? Screw you. We're going to do it. We're going to be the scumbags that you thought we were. We're going to be the ones that sold out.
Yep.
You know what? See these shoes, $1,200.
We have a whole debate club.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Check it out.
I remember, I'll link it in the cards above to it, where we talked about it's the Young Bucks are using the same old gimmick that they had on the Indies.
Yeah.
But they've elevated to a different.
But now they've sold out.
It's not the They've taken it to the next level, the next stage of it, without just repeating the same old stuff.
It's kind of how Chris Jericho, every time he came back, he was just a little bit better version of Chris Jericho that was there before.
Yeah, but it's just a different elevation of it. So we'll link to that. But yeah, the Young Bucks, the fans love to boo them.
Oh yeah, they got their shoes back. They got their shoes back.
Yeah, they got their shoes back by being clotheslined by them.
Doesn't matter. They got their shoes back.
And Brandon Cutler has gotten taken out.
Yeah,
who was trying to revive them with that spray, just trying to wake them up and keep them cool.
It's a cold spray.
Cold spray kind of keep them cool in the heat of Florida.
Working out like that. I mean, really.
So I had to say this.
And their sneaker game is fire, so you got to cool them down too.
Yeah. So I had to say, this is the best I've ever seen Eddie Kingston.
Yes, I have to be honest.
In AEW.
I was not entirely. His mic skill is absolutely. His promo skills are amazing.
I'm talking about in-ring work.
The man can talk. His in-ring work just kind of came across as middle-aged dad.
Yeah. But in this matchup, it showed he can actually work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The man can sell an injury.
Yeah. He was I was really impressed with his in-ring work. And if I have to be honest, I think it looks like he's been dropping some weight.
That too.
Yeah, he still has a gut on him. He's probably always going to have a gut on him.
He was a brawler he's always been a brawler. Brawlers are not Adonis-looking dudes.
I'm not even saying he has to, but he had a little bit too big of a gut.
Yeah. When he first came in, he wasn't, evil Uno size.
No.
That's another dude that's losing weight.
Yeah.
You looking good, bro.
But he's just one of those things where it's he's dropped some weight. He's looking better. I think it's because his cardio game, he's being a little bit more, he's doing a little less brawling style and more wrestling style.
Right.
So cardio needs a little bit better on that.
I don't
for
know
longer matches.
I don't know if he's actually hanging out with Moxley backstage or not, but
I don't know.
If I noticed that Kingston, since both Kingston and Moxley have a wrestling brawler, the same thing that Austin had.
Yeah.
Where it was no, you want to go to the mat? I'll go to the mat with you all day.
Yeah.
But you want to go punch for punch? I'll go punch for punch with you all day. You want to fly? Well, have fun landing.
Yeah.
I'll punch you when you get down here.
No, Moxley will fly. He's not going to do the crazy flying, but he'll fly.
Okay, yeah. His Tope Suicida is really good.
He'll do the... He'll jump off the top rope, but he's not doing the crazy flippy shit that Ricochet or Will Ospreay.
He's dropping an elbow. He's not pulling stuff that even the Young Bucks are doing.
He'll launch himself off the top rope into a splash, but he's not doing the crazy flippy shit that Will Ospreay and Ricochet are known for.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was a great matchup, and I eventually came across, there was a few points where, again, which is always good in a matchup, especially for a title. I don't know if they're changing the titles or not. I went in with it saying they probably aren't.
They're probably going to keep it on the Bucks.
But there's a chance that they could put them, and I'm like, I don't want them to. And then as the match went on, they're definitely changing the titles. No, they're not changing the titles. Yes, they are. Nope. Yeah, no. And then they kept the titles, which was good.
The match went 21 minutes, which, U.S. wrestling, that is what? Even for a tag team.
Well, it's a 4-hour show with...
yeah, I know.
You have to...
But I loved the fact that it was pointed out, like, before BTE was filmed the next day, or that that the Young Bucks were allowed to be in the ring together for a lot longer than anybody else has ever allowed. And during BTE, they pay off Rick.
Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering, I was wondering what they were going on, because I was scrolling through to see if there's anything else with for like Dark Order. Because I don't watch BTE other than for the BTE title, which is now back on because Brandon is the champion. Or the Dark Order stuff. And I scrolled through and I saw that and was like, oh, are they doing like an evil, like a paid off ref, kind of like Nick Patrick's storyline?
Yeah.
But just not like for the whole, I'm gonna screw everyone.
Yeah, no.
So it's like they were allowed to stay in there a little bit longer because he's paying them. That makes sense.
I'm not gonna really count you out, but at some point I have to start counting.
Yeah.
And let you know. But look, if you're in the middle of a lot of tag team action, I'm not gonna push you out.
Yeah. So, but that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next matchup on there, I can't remember what it was.
That was the... Come on, Fern. There we go.
Fern.
That was the Casino Battle Royale.
That's right.
This show went, fans going nuts for Adam Page.
Fans.
The Young Bucks following that up
Yep.
with Moxley and Kingston. All four are fire right now.
Yep.
And the crowd is just reacting. We go into the Casino Battle Royale, which, to me, felt like the perfect moment for the fans to go, okay, I can breathe.
Yeah, because the main action's not going to pick up until near the end.
Yeah, okay.
And there was a lot more eliminations quicker than I was expecting.
Yep.
Christian comes out first, which was great.
Yep.
And I can't remember everyone who came out in what order. I don't honestly fucking care. But it was a good little break point for people if they needed to go get food or they wanted to go to use the bathroom. They weren't going to miss out on anything. They weren't going to miss out on the full matchup.
Yeah. So it was Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, then
that's right.
Powerhouse Hobbs,
That's
Dustin Rhodes, and Max Caster.
I remember because I wanted to mention something about Matt Sydal. Because what does Matt Sydal do? The first thing when he comes out, he climbs immediately to the top rope.
Yep.
And jumps off because he was pointing out, remember this last year? I came in and did this, and I almost killed myself.
I'm finishing it this year.
I'm actually jumping off and actually showing I'm not going to slip off.
Yeah, I'm doing it early this year. But yeah, he was immediately the first elimination.
Yep.
By Max Caster.
Yes. I was a little disappointed that they didn't give him a little bit more time in there, but there was a few spots in this battle royale that looked like they shouldn't have actually happened. They were early eliminations.
Maybe.
I think Max Caster, or I can't remember who it was, but someone looked like it was like, yeah, they were supposed to catch on and they did, but they couldn't hold on and they fell.
Still eliminated by.
I don't know if it was
the second. Max Caster was the second elimination.
I don't think it was Matt Caster who was. I don't know if it was even Matt
Christian
Sydal.
got rid of him.
I don't think Matt Sydal was the one I'm talking about. I think it was someone later on. I can't remember. But anyway, overall, it was still good. Back and forth. Matt convincing the prior party to help him win, and he'll cut their deals down.
Yes.
And all that. Now, I went into the idea that this will be Christian will win in this to get that title shot early on. But then when Jungle Boy came out, I'm like, oh yeah, they said they were going to hold, the rumor was that they were going to hold off anything for Jungle Boy until fans were back. Fans are back. He's got a big pop. This would be a good point to do it. Will they? And then I immediately said, yeah, I think they're gonna do it. And guess what they did?
Yeah.
They did it. And I'm glad because it was a great little point. Christian got to put a younger talent over. He still gets to have his little struggle of clawing his way to and wins to get a title shot. And you are following through on that. They see something in Jungle Boy, but they wanted to do it when fans were back.
Yeah.
And they immediately did the first night.
Of course. Fans are back.
Or WWE would say, we're going to wait to hold off till fans are back.
And then still hold off for another 2 months.
2 months, or forgot about
while putting that story on the back burner so that the fans aren't paying attention to it anymore, and then blame the fans for not paying enough attention to it for them to make it worthy.
To prove that this person's actually not over enough to actually get the push that they were originally going to do.
Exactly. You guys do realize that you have to push them for the fans to realize, hey, I should pay attention to this person because you got to put them on TV.
No. It's solely the stars' responsibility to get themselves over.
But when they do get themselves over, they get punished for getting themselves over.
Well, that's because that's not part of the plan, and how dare they go beyond the plan?
But okay, never mind.
Yeah, so it was a great way to win. Apparently, it will be due to the NBA playoffs. Dynamite is on Friday nights for the foreseeable few weeks. There's actually a rumor going around that they're actually going to be filming the next 3 weeks of television tomorrow night and Saturday.
Okay.
And one of the matches will be Jungle Boy's title shot.
Yes, against Kenny Omega.
Yes, which we'll get there. And ways to spoil the results.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Gotta let you know, Christian Cage had the most eliminations.
That's not a surprise.
Matt Hardy was right behind him with 3, and Jungle Boy was also tied at 3.
That's good.
Yes.
So the next matchup was
come on, phone.
This was my God. Oh, was it Miro?
No, Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo.
Oh yeah, this was the matchup I didn't fucking care about, and I skipped over because I didn't fucking care about it.
I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of the one that I really did just fast forward through.
I didn't like. Honestly, here's the thing.
I gotta let you know that at one point for about 3 minutes straight, every 30 seconds, Cody was on his back on the mat.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people. This was a backlash to Cody because he didn't put a new star over.
Yeah.
And Triple H was trending, comparing him to Triple H.
Yeah.
Never put on. That's not true. Cody's put a lot of young talent over since AEW started.
I know.
My issue was Cody was going to win here, and I agree with Ollie Davis from Wrestle Talk saying this is a Nightmare Family versus the Factory feud, and every matchup that Cody's had with the Nightmare Factory, he's won. You think you should give them at least one victory, even if it's a tainted victory.
Oh yeah.
To do it, at least gives them a victory over it. But I didn't think they were going to do that. And honestly, the only reason this is on a pay-per-view is because Cody's involved. It wasn't pay-per-view worthy with Anthony Ogogo's just starting to get matches.
Yeah, he's green.
And I mean, I just don't. And also, you throw on the whole "I'm gonna beat you, America" storyline behind it because he's from Italy. By
the way, that outfit reminded me of Homelander.
Yeah,
from The Boys.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I get. Yeah, he's not from there. I thought AEW was gonna be the one country.
He's been going by the American Dream recently.
No, that it was only a one night time that he was going by American Dream. It was for that pay-per-view only. That was the whole thing about the American Dream. So for that storyline. Here's the thing. I thought AEW was gonna be different with the whole foreigner heel thing.
Well, okay, no, really, the way that I'm looking at it is that the foreigner wasn't the heel in this situation.
No.
Cody was being the heel by being the overly obnoxious patriot, like, for that event.
And that's the thing. And that's what I know a lot of people took it as. But the thing is, though, it was framed that Cody was doing this for America. And Cody was the face, the hero in this. When it wasn't like Anthony Ogogo was trying to be like, America sucks, I'm going to destroy America, like the typical... No, he was basically like, how dare you guys call yourself the land of the free? You don't have these basic freedoms like universal health care or something like that. And
Exactly, which means that Cody was playing the heel.
He was like in
anyway.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah. But anyway, I didn't care.
I didn't really care about
scrolled
this
right
match.
through this matchup because
Same here.
Didn't care. I knew who was gonna win. And also a lot of people were saying he got buried. This guy, Cody buried him because he didn't beat him with his own finisher. First off, the Crossroads is not a finisher anymore. Everyone kicks out of the first one.
Yes.
That's not how you set up a finisher. Second, he beat him with the Vertebreaker, which is one of the most fucking awesome moves.
Yes.
Which really ruined Shane Helms when he wasn't allowed to do it in WWE.
I know.
Also, he kind of let people land a lot more on their neck, so I can understand why there.
Yeah.
Cody did have him land correctly on the
shoulders.
So the shoulders instead of the neck. This should be Cody's new finisher.
Yeah.
Because it's an awesome finisher. It's right up there with the One Ring Angel in appearance.
So moving on to Miro facing off against Lance Archer for the AEW TNT Championship. Yeah, it was shorter.
Yep.
But brutal.
Yeah. And this is where I was talking about, like, you can do ways to protect people in other ways. Like, to get Lance Archer to give up. Yes, he passed out. I'm fine with the passing out thing. It happens in MMA all the fucking time.
Exactly.
So people who want to say they copped out with the whole passing out. No, there's a lot of time in MMA that happens. Because if you lock in too quick, they don't have unless they can fight off, then you hook it in, then they have time to fight off.
Yeah.
If you grab it and hook it in right away, they don't have time. They're out because it's that fast.
They're either tapping immediately or they're trying to fight it and they're going to pass out.
Or no, not even that. You hook it in so fast, they've already passed out because it can happen that fast.
That's true. That's true.
With no struggle, you can lock it in and cut off oxygen or blood supply so fast. 5 seconds, they're out. And before they even really get a chance to fight, they're out cold. So, this is what you can do for that.
Also,
but yes, this was a good feud there.
Is Jake Roberts okay? That's what I got to really ask here.
Is Jake Roberts okay? I don't give a fuck about his snake.
Yeah, no. Which, by the way,
Miro, you didn't chuck that snake hard enough.
I love the fact that it, yes, we're led to believe that there's a snake in there, but there's no way that the company would have allowed a snake to actually be thrown like that.
Wait a minute. There was not a snake in there? Fuck you, AEW.
I wanted it to be real.
Snakes deserve all that abuse. They are evil.
Okay.
If you don't believe me, trust me. It's in the Bible.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had to pull that line.
All right.
But it was a good little matchup. Miro's second defense, a good one over a bigger guy.
Yes.
And to retain, just setting him up on this uber of a run.
Yes.
And domination of the TNT.
This is the Miro that we wanted this entire when he was Rusev.
Yeah,
we were like, no, we want to see him be dominant.
Yeah.
And ruthless.
Yep. So this was a great little thing for him. So I'm glad with that. It's great to see gold on his shoulder again.
Yes.
That actually means something.
Yes.
Not that United States title that really didn't mean anything.
I mean, his very first time winning it.
No, I'm talking about the second time.
Yeah, no, the second time, no.
So
next up, we had Dr. Britt Baker taking on Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship, Women's World Championship,
World Women's Championship. I don't care that they call it the Women's World Championship. It's the World Women's Championship.
Okay, whatever.
So, but yes. Okay. So first off, we gotta talk about the most important thing here.
What?
And it's nothing to do with the matchup, surprisingly.
The belt itself?
Yes, because for Shida's 1-year anniversary, they gave her a new belt. It's the same old belt, just bigger.
Yes.
Which just further makes me believe that the AEW Women's Championship was designed for Rio.
Yes, it was.
Because how tiny she is, they felt bad about giving her a bigger belt, a big belt. It doesn't matter, honestly. I think that would have looked great on Rio, carrying a bigger belt.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, belts are... big.
Most likely they were getting a lot of, I mean, they had been getting a lot of shit for a long time over the belt being so tiny.
Yeah, and especially when you have someone like Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Nia
Nyla
Rose.
Rose. Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. Wrong company.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose holding it. So and then Shida, yes. It was a little I'm sad at times. And you actually get to see, with it being a bigger plate, you see that it is a nice belt. So,
Yes.
And there is apparently more bling on it, but you did lose one of the side medallions, side plates, which I'm okay with. I do like it when you have a belt design that works for having 3 of them. It's something you don't really see, but it's also hard to make it work.
Right.
But seeing the bigger plate and bigger belt, I'm fine with that. I like it. I'm glad we got a bigger one. And we knew going into this, Shida was dropping the belt. She had a dominant run for 1 year. Britt Baker was the one they wanted to put the belt on for a long time. She was the person they wanted to get over enough to be the first.
I gotta laugh at the fact that they tried so hard early on to push her as a face, and then just went, fine, you're gonna be a heel.
Yeah.
And immediately the fans were like, she's so much better now.
Well, the thing is, like, the rumor was that apparently Kylie Ray was considered to be the first one at one point.
Okay.
See, here's what I think what happened. I think Britt Baker was supposed to be the first one.
Okay.
Then it was shown how green. People saw how green she was. They knew she was going to be green, and then they realized that she wasn't getting over her character as they wanted it to be. So that's when they said, we'll go with Kylie Ray. Then Kylie Ray asked for her release from the company because of whatever. And like,
okay.
Oh. So then I think they went.
Rio.
I'm still on my theory that they didn't put it. They put it on Rio next, because of Nyla. Then, because of the transgender thing that happened on Twitter before. I think wasn't a punishment. It was just like, okay, with this whole little thing, we don't want our first champion to have that kind of a controversy right now. And they always saw, like, I think they could have also been going back and forth between the two of them.
Oh, probably.
And said, okay, we'll just go with Rio.
Last second, they just flipped a coin.
Yeah. But at the same time, the joke is that the belt was designed for Rio.
Yeah.
Was a damper on that, and I'm still a big fan of that. But who knows? But I do think Rio was not the first choice. I definitely think Britt Baker was the first choice. And
of course.
So, but seeing her get here, and the fans were into it, and there were fans who were for Shida too.
Oh,
and by the way, I just gotta comment on this.
Yes.
Shida just knows how to evolve her in-ring gear to the same look, but a different way, right around the time needed. On that all white gear, and she had a wardrobe malfunction on this. You didn't notice? It snapped, the thing, and at times there was camera angles where you could see down her top. Well, she had covers, so you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
But like, if she didn't have pasties on, there would have been a wardrobe malfunction. It wasn't going to fall down like or anything, but it was like there was a few camera shots for like the headlock that was just like, I'm like, ooh, good thing she has something covering.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a good matchup. Britt Baker winning.
Of course.
And is the new AEW Women's Champion, putting it into Shida's 373-day reign.
Damn.
The longest reign in AEW history.
Damn.
That's not the only record she owns.
Oh, what's the other one?
She owns the most win records.
Really?
More than Kenny Omega.
What?
In AEW. They had to make it so it wasn't too dominating. They didn't put up that she was pretty much, since winning the AEW Women's World Champion, she was undefeated.
Yep.
And then she hadn't lost in. They didn't put up her 2021 record. They put up her overall.
Yeah.
That's why there was losses on there.
2021, she had not lost a match.
I'm pretty sure, I almost guarantee she has not lost a match. I think this is her first.
Damn.
If she did lose a match, I think it might have been a tag match, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But she's not lost a singles match since her winning the title.
Cool.
So I sucked out on that, Kenny.
Wow, bro.
But yeah, so that was a good there, but a new women's champion was well deserved. I do not want to see Britt Baker have as lengthy of a run. I would be okay if she dropped it at all out. But I kind of would like to see her drop it on Dynamite. Maybe if you want to go a little bit longer than All Out, like in October.
Okay.
Or something like that. I think Full Gear would be too far. Like, she deserves a good reign, but after the 1 year reign, I want to see a few more champions in 2021 than just Britt Baker and Sheeta.
Okay. All right.
So, and then you could she'll obviously be a multi-world women's champion at some point. That's when you could give her a longer reign. But now the question is, what do you do with Sheeta from going forward? That'll be interesting to see how they go with that. But all right, so the next matchup was
a tag team match between Darby Allin and Sting, taking on Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Oh yeah, that's the match I completely forgot was even on the card by the time I got here.
Come on, man.
By the time, I remember them talking about it when they did their highlight the cards. I did kind of fast forward through it, but I do remember seeing it. But by the time we got there, I completely forgot. I thought the world title match was the next one. I'm like, nope, I'm too busy. I got stuff I want to get done today, so I just fast forward it. I will probably go back and watch it at some point because I've seen how much praise Sting got for being in ring shape.
Oh yeah. And he looked good,
especially since how gassed he looked in his match against Triple H.
Yes.
And then how much gassed he looked against Seth Rollins, and then not being able to finish because of the injury.
Yep.
So I will probably go back and watch it at some point because seeing how universally praised people were saying Sting was amazing for 62.
Yes.
I do want to see that.
It is. There is still something about seeing somebody that much older who's still able to go.
Yeah.
But it's much like watching Ric Flair. Is that and Hogan? You see them and you go, yes, their movement is a little slower.
Yeah.
It's not like the Matt Hardy, Christian,
No.
where you're like, yes, you've lost a step, but that's it. You've lost one step. Like,
honestly, I don't think Christian has lost a step.
No, but like most people their age, you're like Christopher Daniels. You're like, you move a little slower. That's about it. Well, Sting, Hogan, Flair, you're looking at it going, are they going to have to be carried by the younger guys? And very early on, no, Sting does not need to be carried in this match whatsoever.
The fact that you had to put two of those names in that list.
But guys of that age.
Yeah,
still wrestling.
I get the idea you use them for their age, but there was never a question that Ric Flair was going to have to be carried when he was 62 in wrestling.
No, but like...
and the fact that put Sting in that category, you can put that in maybe because of how he looked in WWE, but WWE didn't do him justice.
No, not
at
all.
Because if you go back when he was wrestling with TNA, he was still doing well. So I don't know what happened with him in WWE and his being gassed and all that.
I don't get it.
But Hogan, absolutely. Do I have to carry this guy? Everyone always carried Hogan.
You had to carry Hogan.
Putting a Goldberg in there.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so this was I'll probably go watch again, I said. But good to see it. But this was one, if you taken out Cody and Anthony Ogogo and had this match there.
Oh my God.
Because it would have been fine because I was ready for that main event matchup. For the AEW World Title, which was a triple threat, and
beautiful.
Wow. I gotta agree with Ali. This is probably one of the best ever triple threat matches I've ever seen.
So we got a triple threat match for the AEW World Championship where Kenny Omega is defending the belt from Orange Cassidy and Pac.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, like we know that Pac and Cassidy, their styles blend beautifully. We know that Pac and Kenny's style matches beautifully.
Yeah.
So seeing Orange in there as well was just like, so we're just running around, aren't we? We're just going to be going from like this cool thing to this cool thing, aren't we? Yes, we are.
The good thing was early on. It wasn't as long as I would have liked, but the idea that Pac and Kenny just kept trying to take Orange out so it could just be them.
Yes.
Was a nice little touch. And the fact that they sold that Cassie, if he hits the orange punch, and at one point he hadn't won with an orange punch, but Don Callis came down to ring and pulled the ref out.
Yep.
Another good one was when Pac had Orange Cassidy in the Brutalizer, and Kenny kept kicking him, and he didn't drop it, so he had to take the ref out to prevent Orange from passing out or tapping out. And that was an awesome thing, setting up him to just basically take every single championship belt he has and crack it in Pac's face. Was awesome. And it was just like, oh my God, it was a really good, tight little story there, putting both over Pac and Orange Cassidy in defeat.
Yes.
And then just showing the nature that Don Callis and Kenny will go to retain, and the fact that Kenny retained without the need of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, because they were taken out in the tag team matchup.
Yes.
By
Eddie.
Eddie Kingston took out one of them, and then frankly took out the other one because he forced them to.
Sorry, it was John that took out Carl.
No, Frankie came out of the crowd and
Frankie took out Carl.
Yeah,
and it was John that took out.
No, it was Eddie who jumped off because
because John was in the ring at that moment.
Because it was Carl was supposed to be the distraction, and
then
Gallows came in from behind and Eddie caught him. It was a nice little, and then they didn't come back for the rest of the night. I was like, that's cool. That's a little
good little. I mean, no, they did come back after Kenny won. Didn't they come out?
I don't remember that one, but I'm talking about come back for interference.
Oh, for interference. No. I think they came out to bring Kenny to the back.
I can't remember. I guess when I closed out.
And I'll be honest, the visual of closing out this match ended real quick.
Yeah,
because we went to the second ever Stadium Stampede match.
Okay, so here's something where I want to interject. I cannot remember where it was in the program. It may have been at this spot right here. But I do believe it was before this. JR, you need to get off commentary.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Literally watching you
love you, but
watching you lose your place on what you were saying.
Yeah.
When the camera's right on you, was he lost his. I mean, something. He lost he forgot what he was saying.
I honestly feel Tony and Excalibur will do a much better job now.
And it's just they were trying to help bridge him, but they didn't even know where he was going.
Yeah.
They kind of had an idea, but they weren't sure for a fact. And JR eventually kind of came back with it, but you can just look at it.
He got quiet.
He lost his spot. And yeah. I like JR. I would take him off commentary, save him for big matches.
Yeah.
1 or 2 matches.
Singles matches. So he doesn't have to call a lot of people at the same time.
And especially if he doesn't like what tag team wrestling has become. Would also prevent him from doing that. But yeah, but then we went into the Stadium Stampede. The third match I did not watch on this card because I didn't. Again, there was another 34 minutes of this, and I had stuff I wanted to do.
So,
and I was just honestly, after the Blood and Guts match, I didn't need a Stadium Stampede match here, and I turned. I said when I watched it, when I watch the review a little bit later today, I'll if I'm hearing people saying you should watch it,
you should check it out.
Then I'll come back and watch it. Then I watched Ollie Davis saying he didn't like it. It's especially and his whole point. You're going for a COVID solution last year.
Yeah.
For your first fans back, and yes, you closed the show out in front of the fans, but yeah, I'm like, yep, that's one of the reasons why I can say why I didn't want to watch it.
I enjoyed the match.
I'm not saying I probably wouldn't necessarily enjoy it, but I'm just I have maybe at some point I will watch it. I might watch it. We're talking about years. I'm not going back to watch it now. I just don't care. I knew Under Circle was not losing.
No, I mean, yeah, but
I knew they were going to lose, so
I like the fact that they're like, once again, Jericho went weird in his sections of this match.
Not surprised.
Yeah, him and MJF end up in the Jaguars coach's office.
Yeah, I heard about that spot.
And yeah, I was just like, I'm like, all right, thank you guys for going weird. Jack Hager and Wardlow
Yeah.
just ended up having a wonderful, just two big men brawling, where you actually see Jack is like going into his MMA brawling.
That's cool.
And Wardlow is right there with him. And I'm like, all right, thank you. I'm like, that two dudes meant to brawl right here. And then there's Santana Ortiz and versus FTR, which was meant to be a club barroom brawl.
Yeah.
Which turned into them literally beating up everybody and then fighting each other. And the best part is, like, there's some music playing, and then, like, I don't remember if it's a Santana or Ortiz. I think it's Santana. Calls the DJ and has him change it. The DJ turns out to be Conan.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, all right, that's awesome. I mean, it would have been cooler. I mean, if you could have gotten Hernandez.
Conan looked old from the image
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw.
Yeah, no, he's old.
He looks old.
But yeah, they had their own brawl. Sammy and Sean. By the way, I just realized Sean Spears' nickname, the chairman.
Yeah.
I just realized that it's because he likes to use chair shots.
That is not the reason why he had it. He's the chairman because he used the chair on Cody.
Yes.
That's the whole... No, it's not because he used lots of these chair shots. Because the chair shot on Cody is the entire reason for that.
But that completely... I was like, oh, chairman of the board. Chairman of, of his group whenever he puts it together. And I was like, no, it's because he's the chair man. God.
Wow, Adam, you just admitted something really embarrassing.
It took me like 2 years to figure that out. Okay.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm sorry.
That's sad.
I am so. Every once in a while, things just like hit me, and I'm like, that's what that meant. God, I am slow on the game. I would make a terrible Batman.
Yes, you would.
Absolutely. It would be like the Riddler put something out there for me, and 2 years later, I'm going, oh, that was the thing.
No.
All those kids are dead now. Oh.
No. You're not selling yourself short enough on this one.
What?
You solved the first part of that thing in 2 years.
Those kids on the bus
are all really dead now.
Like even the Riddler's like, no, they're not. I sent them home because seriously, it was like month 3. I was really worried about this, and I thought you were ignoring me. You're back to me 2 years later. I'm on to 16 different things now, buddy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the mask off. I'm not Batman anymore. Screw this. Okay, Adam. Thanks. I'm like, yeah.
So
I got to give this back to Bruce. Who's Bruce?
Yeah, so, but yeah, I knew who was also going to take the pinfall in this one. It was going to be obviously Sean Spears. I'm glad that Sammy's the one who got the pinfall.
Live in front of the audience.
He took the pinfall last year, so he got the pinfall this year, which was a nice little thing there. You said this was a vehicle to get him over.
Exactly.
Well, let's be honest. Sammy's been over since the golf cart incident last year.
Yes, but he hasn't been able to get the reaction from the crowd.
But this was a definite thing, which was cool there.
You know what I want to see?
What?
So we said for a while ago, that Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara would be at some point the pinnacles. I'm changing that now.
Okay.
Darby's going to be like the Sting-esque guy who's always there, but he's just circling around. It's going to be Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy.
We've always said that too, though.
I know, but it's gonna. And then MJF is just gonna be the one that runs by and punches both of them in the face. I mean, like, nah, I got both of you. I'm more heel than Sammy will ever be. And look how awesome I am. So fuck you, Jungle Boy.
We've already said that Jungle Boy was gonna be a part of that pie.
Oh yeah.
So fuck you. But yeah, I mean, I still
No.
nothing's really I've heard anything that's really sold me about it's a must see.
It's
Like
I mean,
last year's Stadium Stampede match.
funny.
I said would have been like, no, this is a must see because it was the perfect thing we needed at this dreadful part of a pandemic.
I also kind of like the fact that this closes out the pandemic.
Yeah, but you're never gonna convince me that you needed this.
Nick-
Blood and Guts, and then this only a
Now,
little
if they
less than a
held
month.
Blood and Guts off,
See, here's
and
the
the
thing.
Stadium Stampede was there first.
It would have been a little bit better because it was the first time these groups are feuding together.
Yep.
And that this kicked off the feud. I've been fine, but I still would have questioned not having fans there. But I probably wouldn't be questioning it as much because it wasn't the second match in a feud where literally the Blood and Guts should have been on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Some people may say,
oh, shut up.
and that's the rest of the story.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, that's AEW's Double or Nothing. Overall, it was a good show.
I enjoyed it.
There's just some of the matches by the time we got to them, I forgot.
I am so happy fans are back.
And then you had two matches that I just didn't agree with. One more than the other, and that was Anthony Ogogo and Cody. Didn't need to be on this card.
No.
So, but overall, it was still a really good match. All right, is it time to talk about that other one?
It's time to talk about WWE just letting people go.
Releasing the most popular person in all of WWE history, Lana.
Oh, I was going to go with Santana Garrett.
Well, she's only number 2. You don't lead story. You don't put a headline of
I'm
number
sorry.
2. No wonder why your channel sucks.
Hey, shut up over there.
No wonder why New doesn't get anyone to watch it but
It's
yourself.
great.
Uh,
Actually, it's been doing really good lately.
but so yes, Lana was released. So was Santana Garrett, who was apparently scheduled to be called up tomorrow.
Can you imagine? You know, it's the day before. You're like, all right, tomorrow I'm getting called up. This is going to be awesome. And I'm fired.
Yeah.
What? Sorry. What happened? Can you imagine if you were, I don't know, Buddy Murphy, who's just like, so can't wait to find out what they've got for me next. It's going to be great.
No,
This
he
is gonna
didn't.
be awesome.
He wasn't looking forward to find out what they had from him next. He knew they had nothing for him.
Well, I mean, he was like, maybe they got something up their sleeves.
No, I'm
and
pretty sure he didn't. He knew that.
Maybe they, damn it, they're doing a Colt Cabana to me.
So
Creative has nothing for me.
So
Well, collected a paycheck. What? I'm fired.
So overall, you had Braun Strowman, who was just main evented WrestleMania Backlash, 2 weeks ago. You had Aleister Black, who just started the Old Father,
Dark Father.
storyline.
Damn it. Sorry.
And then you had I can't remember everyone who else was released. Who was released?
Lana.
Well, we covered her.
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott, who's been on TV.
Yeah.
Who else?
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, we just mentioned Buddy.
And Santana Garrett.
Yeah. So. Yeah, really.
Oh, and I just saw they've let this Paul Levesque guy go too.
Yeah, right. But
And this just in, Disney is bought.
yeah,
The WWE.
we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's just like really. You're using the budget cut line for all this.
Yeah.
When you had record profits.
What'd you do with the money, guys?
Yeah.
We know you got paid.
And it's
Come on.
the same line you gave to people back there. You just gutted your W headquarters.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, and budget cuts were the reason there. And you realize because of the pandemic, your company was bloated with unnecessary redundancies, like 2 graphic departments. How you didn't know this sooner that you didn't need 2 graphic departments?
Oh no, they knew that they had 2 graphic departments. They knew that they sorry, that they had no use for it. And so what did they do? While you're bloated, you're making money. It doesn't matter. Oh, now we're not making the same amount of money because now we just got to look through redundancy and get rid of it.
Because they want,
and
okay.
It's not truly they're not looking. It's not true redundancy because at one point the reason that you have 2 is because you needed 2.
No, they didn't. You don't ever need 2 of one thing. It's called growing it. Within that, the one department, you can separate them into divisions, but it's still one department. No, these were 2.
Oh, literal 2 different departments.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that it's the graphics department, but they have 2 heads and they work.
No. These were 2 separate. I think one was for the network, or something like that, for online, and one was for something else, and they worked completely separate from each other.
They should be the same department.
Yeah, and you just have different areas that were focusing on different areas.
You have project managers in one head.
You could have said that in the one department, you say, okay, you people are going to be working on the WWE Universe.
Yeah.
And the network, you're going to be there. You're going to be doing graphics for like web, not for web, YouTube, stuff like that. Those shows. You guys are going to be doing merchandising artwork.
Yeah.
Stuff like you could be stuff like that. Teams within the larger department, but not.
Wow.
Yeah, they had 2 separate ones.
Wow.
And they just gutted, and they were. And it explains a lot of how things got to the way where it seems like people didn't talk about things before they did stuff. Like calling people from NXT who hate each other, and put them as a tag team because you wanted fresh blood. Because someone said, "Who are the hot people in NXT? Because we need new talent." And someone
not paying attention to what's going on in NXT.
Yeah. And then not telling the guy who runs NXT you're calling these people up.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Again, in this releasing people who just started a major storyline last week.
Who just ended a storyline 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. A person who's being called up tomorrow, apparently.
Yep.
All like... And so whoever made those things aren't even going to worry about what's going on within the main storylines.
Yeah.
So now let's look at why are they so determined to cut costs? Because when you have record profits like this, why do you need to budget cuts and all that stuff?
Normally, up until the last couple of years, normally these WWE releases are... okay, they're letting this guy go. He hasn't been doing anything for the last couple of months. Hasn't had a match in a year anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes sense they're letting him go.
And just
for the past year and a half now, since the tail end of 2019, when these releases have happened, it's been predominant names.
So first off, make it very clear to you. Since AEW's inception, they really haven't had their annual spring cleaning that they normally do, like around this time.
Yeah.
After WrestleMania, that they did since AEW was formed. Outside of Brody Lee.
Yep.
Getting released. The releasing FTR.
Yes.
Before the pandemic cuts anyway.
I know.
2019, there was not a single release around those normal spring cleaning.
Yeah, no.
Because they didn't want them to go to AEW.
Yeah, that was 2019, yeah.
And the few people got released in the fall, like when Brody Lee got released, was only because it was just like, I can't remember the reason why they did it, but it was the reason behind it.
They had nothing for him.
They was just like, we want to go, and they finally just said fine.
Yeah, FTR was just like, hey guys, you know that we're not re-signing, so
yeah.
Where do you want to go with this?
So, it's like that, but now they did it twice. So why are they all of a sudden cleaning house in-house at the Connecticut level?
Yeah,
at
the corporate level.
Yeah, and on the roster. Redundancies. One of the reasons that people were saying that Braun Strowman was released because his new contract that he signed in 2019 was for $1 million. $1 million that has to be accounted for if you're going to sell the company.
Yeah.
And is it an expense that's worth it? So, and then when you look at all
moving
these,
the network over to Paramount or
no, it's
sorry,
NBC Universal.
NBC, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, and people are wondering, like that's what everyone's asking about, like, are they getting ready to sell the company?
I really have a feeling that that's what they're planning on doing in some way.
Yeah. And we've talked about it. As soon as they sold the rights to the network to Peacock.
Yes.
We're saying, will they Peacock or Universal purchase WWE just to lock everything up? Once the SmackDown's TV rights come up for negotiation, so they can get them away from Fox.
I think
Disney?
it's going to be sooner.
Well, no, I'm saying that's what we were talking about at that time.
Oh, yeah.
This was before, like, now. But now, I think you're right. I think it could be sooner. And people are saying, well, obviously it would be Universal. Don't underestimate Disney.
Do not underestimate
Disney has a prominent streaming service that they're always looking for content for that WWE could be perfect for. It's called ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
They would be perfect for it. So I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if Universal. I mean,
Universal makes the most sense.
Yes. Now, here's the thing I would say. Let's say you got Universal and Disney came in and they made a bid. Let's say Disney had the higher price. They're going to pay more for it. I could still see, but they're not off by much.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's like Disney offers $3.8 billion and Universal offers $3.4 billion. It's by a decimal point.
Yeah.
At this point, I could see Vince selling it to Universal over the money because of that relationship.
Yes.
But again, WWE's last 5 or 6 years have been money. So I could absolutely say, fuck Universal. They offer me more money. We're going with them.
That's true too.
So I'm really starting to think that we're gonna hear an announcement by SummerSlam, some kind of buyout.
Maybe.
Or WWE's Vince selling
his
portion of it to a major thing. But honestly, if you're gonna sell it to someone, they're gonna buy out everything at this point.
Yeah.
You don't want to have. You're gonna
because otherwise it's basically a.
And still, if you buy out Vince, you have a controlling interest.
Yeah, but in that doing it that way is it's not a hostile takeover, but it works in the same way.
Yeah.
Where you buy most of the shares of a company.
Yeah.
And yes, you never bought the company, but you have a controlling power.
Yeah.
And actually, Universal's parent company does that. That's how, like, even though they actually own Universal,
yeah,
but they have a shit ton of other things that they control. They don't own
that they control,
but they control it. And you're like, I could see them just being like, look, if Disney doesn't, like, if Disney does offer, set aside a second offer specifically for McMahon's controlling his shares.
Well, see, if Disney makes an offer out there, here's the thing though. Disney's gonna be like, we're not doing the whole you buy part of a share. Vince can sell his share, but then we buy everything else. No, because they're not.
No, that would back them out, but it would still secure Universal owning and controlling WWE.
It all depends on what Disney's price was and what their price to Vince was. I think Vince would ultimately go for the bigger, the sellout.
I really do feel that he would do the same thing.
Because even if if let's say Disney bought WWE, which honestly I'm just rooting for because I just want to say so they can get the finger to Universal's. Like you've had a relationship for 20 some odd years, 30 some odd years, and we took them from you. Fuck you. When that network deal runs out, we're taking it to ESPN. So have fun. Then, but going on for that, but that'd be funny. But if they did buy it,
Yeah.
It's just be one of those things where it's be like, I don't know. Would it be a good thing?
I would like Universal to buy it.
I'm just moving for Disney just because I think Disney would do a better job with it. Universal has that relationship and they know them, but I don't think they would. They've never put enough pressure on Vince to. They said they put pressure on them to get the ratings up, but they never put enough for saying we're going to pull a deal if you don't get the ratings up, type thing to him.
Also, wouldn't it be make it so much easier to sell your product to someone, anyone, if it's not doing well?
Yeah, and Disney is well known for taking over struggling companies, and turning them around. They've also been known for taking over good companies and pissing off the fans.
I mean,
but you can't really piss the WWE fans off at this point because all the people that are pissed off, Vince already did it.
Yeah. Also, you look at what they've bought for story companies. They bought Star Wars.
Yep.
Okay, so they split the fan base on that one. Whatever. They bought Marvel. And I'm not talking just Marvel Studios, the MCU.
No, we're talking about comics and everything.
I'm talking the comics. The comics have seen a resurgence because Disney went, yeah, we're not just buying you to keep you afloat. We're buying you because you're an investment. Now, make better stories. And they've turned around and done much better.
From what I could be wrong, but I was under this understanding at the time when Disney did buy them out, there wasn't a resurgence in comics, and they were doing better than what they had done in the past.
The storytelling they were, but the audience, the money needed to reach like that much more of an audience wasn't there for them.
I'm not talking about they were making more money. I'm talking about the storytelling was better.
Oh yeah,
and they were starting to draw fans, lapsed fans back in, drawing new fans. But they still had to get.
They weren't doing well financially.
Financially, they still needed to. They were turning around and they were on a trajectory to get money, but
it was going to be a long time.
Yeah, and then Disney
needed an influx of money.
But then Disney came in and said,
went, "Oh, thank you,"
and they provided that. And now that they made even better investment by making Feige the overall creative direction over everything of the company.
Yeah. And if they bought the WWE, I have a feeling that they would
fire Vince, put Triple H in charge.
I mean, that's kind of the thing is that they would. Most likely the purchase would also have Vince leaving.
I'm assuming.
That's got to be part of the deal. It's much like buying Star Wars and having George Lucas be like, "All right, sorry, George, you're out."
Yeah. Vince has said in the past that he'd be willing to sell. He's willing to sell, but as long as they were allowing them to operate their independence stuff.
Oh, I can see Disney being like, yes, you're going to operate independently, but for us to finalize this deal, Vince, you need to walk away now.
Yeah. Which would then be the death of Vince McMahon.
Because,
who was it from Fox News, who owned Fox News, who stepped down?
Roger Ailes?
Yeah, and then he died not long after.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was also 76 when he finally stepped down.
Yeah, but he was a workaholic.
Yeah.
One of those personalities was a workaholic. He didn't have the work anymore, so his
what do I do?
His desire to
live
probably died. And I think that'd be the same thing for Vince. If he had to step down, he would not live much longer.
Oh no.
I would be surprised if he lasted a year.
Oh yeah. But that's going to be the thing. If whoever's buying it, Vince is going to be out.
No, I don't agree with that. If Disney bought it, I could see them saying you have to be out. If Universal bought it, because of the relationship, I think they would let him retain control.
I don't know.
But going back to all this about letting people go, fuck you, WWE. Really? You don't need it. The budget cuts is a bullshit thing.
So, Lana...
Yep.
AEW bound.
No.
I mean, even if she's working out back.
No. I think she'll take this opportunity to look at other opportunities. Because she was one of the people who was making six figures with social media. She does not need wrestling. I don't think she's going to wrestle.
I don't
return to wrestling.
I don't think she's going to be returning to wrestling.
No, I don't think she's like when I say return to wrestling, I mean in the wrestling company.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't. And honestly, if she was want to wrestle, go to Impact, prove what you can do.
Okay.
Because that's my mind frame. If you haven't had an opportunity, or if you need to prove something, Impact's the perfect place to do it.
Tommy End. Is he going to be all elite?
I'd be okay with that.
I honestly feel that he would fit in with the company pretty well.
Personally, I am thinking him, Thea Trinidad, Zelina Vega, for those of you who are idiots out there. And by idiots, I mean WWE Marks.
His wife.
His wife.
Why do I keep just being like derp whenever you say her name? And I'm like,
especially since it's been
I know
9 months.
I know.
Almost 9 months or close to it. And it's been going by. And the funny thing is that she was rumored to be back in the training at the Performance Center not that long ago. And I'm like, don't do it. Hopefully, if it's a project and you're getting paid for it because of something down there, fine, that's great. But don't return to the company as like that.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But I'd love to see them go there. It'd be perfect timing for a certain luchador who left, got released, Andrade.
Yes.
To go to join them. It'd be really fun. Three-way team. Tommy End, whatever he's gonna go by. Andrade, but I don't think he can use Andrade because that was WWE.
No, he can. It's his name.
It's really his real name.
No, it's the name that he was wrestling under in Mexico.
No, it wasn't.
Andrade is in it.
No, it wasn't. It's he was a masked wrestler that had nothing to do with Andrade.
No,
I guarantee it wasn't. It was something else. I'm certain of it. Because they had to make a big deal that who he was. It's like El Salbro. La Sombra. The Salbum.
Come on, slow phone.
I cannot think of.
Come on, slow phone.
Think of it. Anyway, but if he went back to that name or he used a different name, whatever, those two and Thea Trinidad as a team.
You mean Manuel Alfonso Andrade Oropeza? That's his name.
That was not the one I was thinking of. It was a different one. That.
That's his. He can continue using Andrade because it's his middle name. He was going under, if you're going Guerrero Azteca.
Nope.
Brillante Jr. La Sombra.
La Sombra, that was the one.
Yeah, before that was Manny Andrade.
Yeah, so Sombra was the one that he made his name under, which got him signed. So maybe he'll use it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care what name he uses. Just go to a company that's actually going to use you correctly. But yeah, I'd love to see those three team up in AEW. Buddy Murphy, AEW.
Yeah, he actually currently signed a Lucha Libre under the name Andrade.
Oh, okay. Well, that's also Lucha Libre in Mexico. They don't fucking care what name you use down there.
That's true.
They honestly don't fucking care.
They're like, you know what? You can sign to us using any name you want, and if WWE wants to sue us, we can be like, no speaking English.
It's Mexico. What are you gonna do? We'll buy the courts.
Yeah. I also like the idea that they just kind of go, I'm sorry, don't speak English, in perfect English. Oops, my bad. I don't speak any English. I can't understand you.
Yes, but Buddy Murphy needs to go to AEW because one, Kenny Omega really point out the one person he would want to face is Buddy Murphy.
All right.
So I'd love to see him go to AEW.
Ruby Riott to Impact?
No, Ruby Riott to AEW. She would be awesome for their women's division.
I hate that you're right.
She'd be perfect for the women. They're not struggling, but green division for a lot of them. She'd be perfect for that. She has a name, and she can just quickly show what she could do, and that they blew it with her.
And the last name we've got here, Santana Garrett.
I don't know about her because here's the thing about Santana Garrett. When she went on a run on the indie scenes before she got signed,
Yeah.
she was the belt collector
Okay.
on the indie scenes for the women's, like Shine, Shimmer, Wow, Women of Wrestling. She had like 6 different belts at one point. When she lost them all, she eventually turned heel, and because she was trying to get that like run going back. She was a heel. I watched one of the stuff. I'm like, that was kind of cool. And then when she signed with WWE, I was like, man, that's a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping she'd go to when she signed with AEW because it was right around the time they were coming up.
Okay.
And like she was hot, and that would be she'd be a perfect part for that, a mainstay of their women's division. And then she went to NXT, and they never used her.
No.
She showed up a few times here and there, and then just wasn't used or ever got anything.
Like,
so I think her
out of this list,
Mhm.
Santana Garrett is what I expect out of the cleaning house type of releases, where it's like, okay, yeah, I've never heard of her. You know, she was signed in the
2019
Performance Center. And,
So here's the thing about like hearing that she was supposed to be getting call up to the main roster
Yeah.
tomorrow. Like, how are you gonna hype her up? She has nothing real major storylines or feuds from NXT to use to help build her up. So you're just gonna throw her out there with probably nothing and just
of course, get
probably,
squashed.
and probably lose in her first matchup or win it and then lose next week, and then just forget about her.
Well, that's how it works, right?
But it was
Come
just
on.
like, so I'm glad she got released because I've been wondering when they were gonna start using her in NXT, and they never did, and I don't know why. They used her a few times, and they called her the Wonder Woman of NXT, or the NXT universe, because she dressed a lot of her gear ring gear was Wonder Woman inspired, and if you look at her, she looks like Wonder Woman in a way.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know down in the comment section what you thought of AEW Dynamite, AEW Double or Nothing. Oh my god, let me know what you thought of AEW Dawn,
DON.
Double or Nothing. It's Dawn, not DON. It's Dawn.
So it's actually named after Don Callis?
yes, it is. It's part of that genius.
That Kenny Omega brings to this company.
Yep. So,
All hail the Omega. All hail the Omega.
so
All hail the Omega.
let us know down what you thought of Dawn.
All hail the Omega.
Your thoughts on the releases today, or Thursday, because you'll be listening to this on Saturday, or
Yeah.
whenever I remember to put it up.
Yeah,
So next Thursday.
try not to do that, okay,
I'm
bud?
hoping not. That's why we recorded it on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday.
All right.
But yeah, let us know down there. You know what? You made it to the end of this very long podcast, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Ding.
Also, give us a thumbs up, because that was supposed to come first, and I forgot.
Yeah,
Week off. I gotta get back up on this.
it's okay.
And
Don't
then
worry, you're fired. So
and-
you can have all the mistakes.
Exactly. Ring that bell.
Ding.
And make sure it's the one that turns on all notifications,
Yes.
so you know when all of Adam's stupid programming goes live, because I'm not here anymore. And Adam, you can suck my dick.
Wow.
And Nua fucking sucks.
How
How dare you fucking have
Tim, I'm
no
getting a-
women's division?
Getting a
Bye!
message.